I wanted to talk to you about making easy breakfasts. I generally have a hard time in the morning with breakfast. I get stuck in the egg rut where it's fried eggs or scrambled eggs every morning. So sometimes I want an easy breakfast. One of the ones that I found that makes a pretty quick and easy breakfast, and it's very kid friendly. I like to mix the dry ingredients the night before, because then in the morning all I have to do is grab the wet ingredients and mix them together. So it's kind of like make your own pancake mix. What I do is I store them in Tupperware. So sometimes I'll mix the dry ingredients a few at a time, and I'll store maybe 2 or 3 in the pantry while I have the other one for use the next morning. And then once the morning comes, I go ahead and I come down, I grab out the Tupperware full of dried ingredients, and then all the wet ingredients are milk, egg, and butter that I've left out on the counter that has been softened. And what it does is it's basically like the box pancake mix, where you pull out like a certain measurement of the dry ingredients and you just throw in the wet ingredients, mix them together. I like to use this pan because you can make 7 pancakes at the same time. Quick tip though about this pan is the middle tends to cook a little faster than the outside ones. So I'll always put the batter in on the outside first and then the middle last. And then I'll always flip the middle first and then flip the other ones, just so you don't get that overcooked burnt pancake there. It's an easy breakfast. It's very kid friendly. They love it. And then they're nice and busy while they eat. So you'll want to mix 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We have 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then in the fall, I like to add an extra 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon for a little bit of a fun fall flavor. And then you want to go ahead and just mix that together. And then at this point, you can either use it or you can store it in a Tupperware that you can have and stash it in your pantry and seal the night before. So the next morning when you come down for breakfast, what you'll have is you'll have your bowl with the dry ingredients, and then the wet ingredients you'll want about 3/4 of a cup of milk. If you happen to have buttermilk, the original recipe does call for buttermilk. I've been using milk and everyone loves it. And then you'll want 1 egg, and you can go ahead and give that a little stir and then stir it in there. So you'll mix that in with your wet ingredients. And then you want about 2 tablespoons of butter. And I leave butter, unsalted butter, on the counter to soften. The original recipe does call for melted butter, but I found that if you're in a hurry and you forget to melt your butter with enough time, you don't want hot butter going in with a cold egg. It'll start scrambling your egg. So I just use the softened butter, and then I go ahead and mix those all together. So you'll want that mixed up. That's all you have to do in the morning, is get those 3 ingredients together, and then you'll want to get your dry ingredients, and then go ahead and squish up that butter, and then you'll want to just go ahead and pour that in, and then you want to give it a whisk. You want it all to just whisk together so that it all combines. And I like these silicone whisks because they get the side of the bowl really well. And that is your pancake batter. So then what you want to do is you'll want to preheat your pan. We'll spray this with a little nonstick spray. I use a cookie scoop just to get the same measurements in each. It's about 1/4 of a cup of batter in each one. And they cook up nicely. They'll start to puff up and like bubble along the sides, and then you'll know that they're time to flip. And I do this on medium level heat. And so the batter that we use will be good for 2 rounds of this. So you'll get about 14 pancakes in. So you'll see that they'll start cooking. You'll know that they're ready to flip because they'll start getting these little bubbles around the edges. And then that'll tell you that they're ready to be flipped. And you'll hear the sizzle. So when my husband was teaching me to cook, he just always told me, because sometimes I'd be like, it says high heat, we gotta do it on high heat. And we never had the best cooktops as far as the heat conduction or regulation. So he said, always remember, medium heat is your safe bet. And then from there, you figure out your cooktop. So I still remember that, and I still kind of go by that. So if you find that some of the outside ones, just my cooktop is, I don't have the best cooktop. If the outside ones are a little bit less golden, you can always do like a final flip at the end and then have those in the middle more. But this guy is going to get cooked the fastest, and he's going to be heating up the fastest too as you go through. So when you put the next round in, maybe take the pan off for a second just to give it time to calm down. So I have these guys cooking. And then when it's on this side, you can do a quick check. You see that? He's about done. I don't know why I named them he, but he's about done, so you want to pull him off. And then this guy, I'll just go ahead and put him in the middle because I know that middle one's the hottest. And yeah, these guys are not ready to go. But it's just, everything's so quick with all these, and I have 2 boys, so getting these all off at the same time are great because they usually like to have 2 at a time. They love that they're perfectly sized pancakes. I didn't think that made a difference, but it does in a 4-year-old and 6-year-old's world. And then they can have it at the same time. So yeah, so you see how he's going to cook a little faster. We know that this guy, so we'll give him another minute. And then we'll turn him in. Same with this guy. That guy. And that guy. And they look about ready. They're nice and brown and fluffy. So we'll go ahead and put these on the plate. My husband loves having butter put on them as soon as they come off. My kids actually don't notice the difference. But if you want, you can go ahead and spread some salted butter on them so that they can go ahead and melt. And your pancakes are ready. So thank you for joining me today on this episode of Breakfast Made Easy with Pancakes. I hope I could make one of your meal times easier for you. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click that like button and comment below to let me know if there are any pancake recipes that you love. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on my videos, and you can follow me on Instagram to see all my food adventures. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a happy Sunday, and I will see you next Sunday.